Listen, I'm easy to find. And listen, they can kiss my ass if they don't like it.
Lose it, you never win.
Oh, boy!
That stuff is...
Yes!
Season 7, Big Nate Sports Talk. Already spoiled it for you. This is the Eastern Conference recap. I wanted to do a small preview. I want to recap Game 1. The Miami Heat took Game 1 last night. It was a good game, 118-107. A couple things before we get into it. If you haven't already, just check out the Memphis Grizzlies video I just did. I know that Memphis Grizzlies got already eliminated from the playoffs, so I've meant to go again. Didn't have a chance to go live last night, so I apologize. Couple things I want to take in consideration for this series is I'm looking at Tyler Hero, who got Sixth Man of the Year, Duncan Robinson, who has not appeared so far in the series, and in response to that, they've put Max Strus in the lineup, Gabe Vincent and Caleb Martin, who shot a combined 40% from three. I knew coming into this game last night, Miami's defense was going to be a factor. They had going into the regular season, they had a defensive rating, I believe, about 108. That's the top 5. Remember, look at that stat correctly. They took out shot creators, Trae Young and James Harden. Jimmy Butler, I know, is on a mission. Being in the finals in the bubble, which for some reason everyone's downplaying, particularly, I don't understand why they're calling it the bubble championship. A championship is still a championship. But what gets me is you guys went down there and agreed to play. But that's one of the video. The Boston Celtics. Jason Tatum is a star. He was in my top 5 for MVP candidate for this year. That lineup they had out there this year, so far this season, Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Marcus Smart, Al Horford, and Robert Williams. That lineup is nothing but spectacular. And you're putting Pritchard, Grant Williams, Derek White. Like, you've got a lot of versatility on that team. I think other than the Bucks, I think the Celtics had the best with the better complete team. To sweep Brooklyn, I thought Brooklyn was going to get a game in there, and then they took 7 games to beat Giannis and the Bucks. Just shows the growth of the Boston Celtics, but more importantly, first-year head coach Ike Umduke. I think that's just an amazing job what he's done. I could add him in my Coach of the Year candidacy. I thought the key for me, I was looking for Kyle Lowry didn't play last night, so I was kind of hoping that probably by game 2 he'll play. I know he's been away with a hamstring injury, so he hasn't played in 11 games. No, the 12 games so far. I will hope Eric Spoelstra, when it's closing time, he'll be out there with Kyle Lowry, out there with Jimmy, Bam, and PJ Tucker, because down the stretch, Boston's length and versatility, you have to contain that. And then also, too, you got to look at Tyler Hero and Victor Oladipo. I think those are keys as well. Victor Oladipo, who has been just on the bad end of of injuries, he is definitely this is definitely a test for him. And then again, Max Strus and Gabe Vincent, they've been put in place with Duncan Robinson. Sometimes, and I want to make this clear, it's there could be a series that's just not for that. It's just not for everybody. Um, he's more of a he's not. I mean, you can make the argument that he needs to be out there, but like I'll give you an example. They played Philadelphia, and I can't remember what it was, but it was a one of those coming off the screen, a hit like floppy play, and Duncan Robinson, he can make those shots. He's one of the best shooters, and a lot of it to me, I think, is you look at Philadelphia's defense. I just think it's just not this serious for him, and I feel like some of it he has been able to knock down the shots, but I think a lot of it is they sacrificed defense over shooting. And yeah, he should be in some minutes, but I think that's what keeps Miami. I think that is Miami's bread and butter. They're sacrificing spacing the floor for defensive versatility. I think that's Miami's key. And sometimes there's a player, the series is just not for them, plain and simple. Um, when you look at the Miami Heat, I think the key is just their defense. Boston, you're going to have to create foul opportunities early. You're going to have to contain Jimmy Butler. Uh, and more importantly, like you've gotten past Giannis. You've gotten past injured Joel Embiid. He's beaten. Well, Philadelphia, besides Harden, I mean Maxey and but the Boston Celtics, this is their true test, in my opinion. And then this to me is Miami's best chance to get to the finals. I feel like it just who can Jimmy Butler who can outplay each other. My money is on the Boston Celtics. I think the Celtics are winning 6. I believe that. I love Jimmy Butler. Last night, the final score was 108, 118, 107. Jimmy Butler came out. He set the tone. A lot of it, again, the key was their defense, particularly in the second half. Jason Tatum had 29 points to finish for the whole entire game. He had 21 the first half. Jaylen Brown had 24. Marcus Smart was not out there because he's dealing with a foot injury. And then Al Horford is in the health and safety protocols. So that hurts Boston on the offensive side and defensive side of the ball, where you don't have your defensive point guard, I can't get the word. Your best defender, Marcus Smart, out there, and then you don't have Al Horford who can help you space the floor. Marcus Smart is supposedly supposed to come back for game 2, but we'll see. Defensive player of the year. I could not get that out. I apologize. Marcus Smart was defensive player of the year. I apologize. Going back to what I saw last night, Jimmy Butler had dropped 41 points. Again, a lot of it was just fast breaks, creating turnovers. That's what Miami did. And they had a lot. I saw Peyton Pritchard on Jimmy Butler a few times. And it's just too small. It's just too physical for Peyton Pritchard. But he tried the best he could to hold his own. And I thought I would like to see some defensive adjustments on Jimmy. But I didn't see that. Boston in the third quarter, I thought that was a storyteller. I thought they looked shell shocked. There was there was a lackluster third quarter. They were out, I believe, going into the third quarter, it was 39-14 because they were up 8. And the first 2 quarters, they did great. Jason Tatum had 21 first half points. And then Boston, they had 17 assists. And then I believe they had 42 points in the paint. They did everything right in the first half. But again, Miami's defense definitely did what it was supposed to do. They turned up the heat. Get it? Miami turned up the heat. So they just completely took Boston's offense from under their feet. I mean, once they got in the half court, they had no answers. I mean, I think, again, not calling timeout. There was a couple of times in certain situations where I feel like a timeout should have been called to get themselves mentally refocused. I didn't see that. Tatum had 6 turnovers just in the third quarter. And then they were a hound on him. He had a hard time really finding his shot. And he only had 5 points. And then, I mean, some of it all, I'm not going to put all on Jason Tatum neither. I'm looking at the others. Jaylen Brown was really nowhere to be found. It was a quiet 24, but a lot of it came from garbage points. Because going in the fourth quarter, Miami, they kind of were like, we're good. I kind of feel like they took their foot off the gas, and I felt that's where Jaylen Brown kind of came in. But that's another thing that stuck out to me. When you're down a certain amount of points, my antenna should be up. I can't. There's no way. If the game's out of reach like that, all of a sudden you're heating up. That makes absolutely no sense. Like, you didn't have Al Horford, you didn't have Marcus Smart. You're Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, they're Batman and Robin. And I didn't see that. And, 15 points to try to make a comeback, but that really wasn't it. That wasn't it for me. And other than Jason Tatum, they've got to offensively produce points, whether it's on the defensive side of the ball, whether it's just getting easy buckets. I mean, they are on Jason Tatum like a hornet's nest, and that's going to be the key. Other than if you take Jason Tatum out the game, you've pretty much kind of taken Boston's offense. But also, too, if hypothetically, let's just say if Jaylen Brown had a better third quarter, because he just had 2 points, he had 2 more points than me. Boston doesn't go down 20, is not down 20 points going into the fourth quarter. Guaranteed. So I think going into game 2, I mean, also, too, I got to give a shout out to Gabe Vincent. He really stepped up, and Kyle Lowry was not there. I liked him. I kind of could see him probably taking Lowry's spot until, he's ready to come back for sure. But he even showed that against Philadelphia, but he definitely stepped in there. Would definitely give him some love. But again, like I said, Miami sacrificed for spacing, for defense. And the guys that have been stepping in there, Caleb Martin, Gabe Vincent, they have been playing tremendously well. And you got to credit Eric Spoelstra as well. I mean, the Miami Heat and Max Strus too. They're doing the necessary things to win this series. But I'm still sticking with my pick. The Boston Celtics are going to win in 6. I do think you're going to see a better Boston Celtic team in game 2. Marcus Smart hopefully will be back. Al Horford, I believe he's supposed to have 2 negative tests. So he'll probably be back for game 3. So y'all let me know your thoughts. What did you think of the game last night? What was your takeaway from the game? But until then, I'm going to go live with the Western Conference Final preview, the Dallas Mavericks versus the Golden State Warriors. But until then, like, comment, subscribe. I'm out. Peace. Stay up.
Listen, I'm easy to find. And listen, they can kiss my ass if they don't like it.